Hello everybody, this is Chrissy with Tackling the Giants, and today I'm wanting to do a short video on something that I feel is very important, and I don't know that I've ever even heard this taught before, so I think it's a very powerful bit of information that's a testimony to who our Messiah is and his prophesied name. So the title of this is called The Prophesied Name of the Messiah, and it shows he is king and priest. So his name that's prophesied is Yehoshua, and also that name means Jehovah saves. So even the Messiah's name points us back to the Father. And on the bottom left-hand screen, I just show a Torah scroll that shows it's dressed in, it has a crown at the top, and that it's crowned. So we see that the Torah is crowned as if the Torah is a king. And I've shown videos that show that the light that was created on the first day is the Word of God, who is the Torah made, and Yeshua is the Torah made flesh. He is that light, the way, the truth, and the life as well. All of which are words that point to and say that there are the Torah. So the middle, I just put a king, a crowned king. I'm sure that Yeshua's will be way more beautiful than that, but it's just making the point of a kingly crown. And on the right hand side is the golden crown of the high priest, and we know that Yeshua is high priest right now in the heavenly temple. So let's start with Zechariah chapter 6, and this is where the actual prophecy is. And this is in reference to Joshua. Joshua is the one who led the Israelites into the promised land. He took over for Moses when Moses was forbidden to enter into the promised land. And that in itself is actually very prophetic in itself, because the name of Joshua in Hebrew is Yehoshua, which is what I'm fixing to show. And he has the same name. He is the one who led Israel into the promised land, and Yeshua or Yehoshua is going to be the one who also brings back all of the tribes of Israel into the promised land when he rules and reigns for 1,000 years. So that in itself is prophetic. But let's read the scripture here. And it says in Zechariah chapter 6, verse 11, it says, "Then take silver and gold and make crowns and set them upon the head of Joshua, the son of Josedek, the high priest, and speak unto him, saying, Thus says Jehovah of hosts, Behold, the man whose name is the branch, and he shall grow up out of his place, and he shall build the temple of Jehovah. Even he shall build the temple of Jehovah, and he shall bear the glory, and shall sit and rule upon his throne, and he shall be a priest upon his throne. And the counsel of peace shall be between them both." Now, this is very interesting, because I put the Strongs down there for verse 11 and 12, and you can see that that Joshua right here is Hebrews 3091. And I'm also going to go over the branch, Hebrews 6780, okay? So Joshua is actually Yehoshua, which I'm fixing to show you. But this is saying that the person that Joshua or Yehoshua has the name as the same person of the branch. And the branch is prophetic, because the branch is the pointing to the Messiah. It's a messianic term used for the promised seed, the Messiah. And it is also showing that this branch is going to sit upon his throne. So he is a king, and he is also going to be a priest upon his throne. So he is going to be a king and a priest. This is very interesting, because we know from the Torah that the kingly line comes from David. Okay, I'm sorry, excuse me. The kingly line comes from the root of David, which is from the tribe of Judah. Okay, so through David, we have the promised seed, which is Yeshua, but it's through the tribe of Judah that promised seed came from. And the priestly line is actually through the Levites, the tribe of Levi. So on earth, there is no way for you to have a king and a priest, both, because they're from different tribes. There was one on earth at a point in time, but that was before the Levite priests were established in Jerusalem. So it was prior to that that covenant, the temple covenant. So we'll go over that. So I just wanted to make that very clear that this is very powerful prophetically. So the Strong's Concordance for Joshua in English is actually, it's Yehoshua in Hebrew, okay? And Yehoshua means Yehovah saves, okay? And in Ezra and I believe Chronicles, in the Babylonian, whenever they were in Babylon, the name that's used for Joshua is Yeshua. In English, it's actually Jeshua, Jesha, which I put on the bottom there. It's Hebrews 3:442. I didn't realize I put that there. So it's Yeshua, because we know that, we used to not have a J in the English alphabet. So it's actually sounds like a Y. Okay, so in those books of the Bible, his shortened name is Yeshua. So it's kind of like, in the context of English, it would be equivalent to Joshua and Josh, the shortened form. So we see that the prophesied name is Yehoshua, or Yeshua is the shortened form. So I want to go over the branch of David in Jeremiah. So the branch means a sprout or a bud, okay? And this is because he's going to sprout, he's going to bud. And we see that this is interesting because in the rod of Aaron, we see that his rod is the one that sprouted. It's the one that budded. So he was shown to be the chosen one for the priestly line. Okay, so it's very interesting in that context. So Jeremiah 23 says, "Behold, the days come, says Yehovah, I will raise unto David a righteous branch, and a king shall rule and prosper, and shall execute judgment and justice in the earth." So we see that from the promised seed of David, which is the tribe of Judah, this righteous branch, a king, is going to be the one that executes judgment and justice. We know that that's Yeshua, and his prophesied full name is Yehoshua. Okay, in Jeremiah chapter 33, it says, "Behold, the days come, says Jehovah, that I will perform that good thing which I have promised unto the house of Israel, unto the house of Judah. In those days and at that time I will cause the branch of righteousness to grow up unto David, and he shall execute judgment and righteousness in the land." So this is a known messianic term for the Messiah, the branch. And we see that in the scripture of Zechariah, I showed you that the person called Yehoshua has the same name as the branch, which is the promised seed, who is going to be king and priest. So let's talk about this king and priest. So the order of Melchizedek is a very interesting person. In Genesis chapter 14, verse 18, it says, "And Melchizedek, king of Salem," which is Jerusalem, okay, "brought forth bread and wine, and he was priest of the Most High God." So we see that this Melchizedek figure was king and he was priest. Now, like I said, this was before the Levitical priesthood was established. So before that was established, we were able to have a king and priest from the same tribe. But now that's not possible on earth because the covenant shows that it's from the Levitical tribe. So in Psalm 110, we see a prophecy, and this is a known prophecy pointing to the Messiah. And it says, "Jehovah said unto my Lord, sit at my right hand until I make your enemies your footstool. Jehovah shall send the rod of your strength out of Zion, rule in the midst of your enemies. The people shall be willing in the day of your power, in the beauties of holiness from the womb of the morning. You have the dew of youth. Jehovah has sworn and will not repent. You are a priest forever after the order of Melchizedek." So we see that Melchizedek, the promised Messiah that Yehovah is speaking to and saying, "Sit at my right hand," is going to be a priest after the order of Melchizedek, which means that he is he's going to rule, okay, in the midst of the enemies. So that means he's going to be king, and we see that he's going to be priest. And that's what Melchizedek is. He's a king and a priest. But it's not possible to be king and priest at the same time on the earthly realm. So In Hebrews, moving on to the New Testament, in Hebrews chapter 7, it explains that. It says, it's evident that our Lord, speaking of Yeshua, sprang out of Judah, of which tribe Moses spoke nothing concerning the priesthood. And yet it is far more evident, for that after the similitude of Melchizedek there arises another priest, who is made not after the law of a carnal commandment, but after the power of an endless life. For he testifies, you are a priest forever after the order of Melchizedek. So what that is saying is he is the priest in the heavenly realm, because he is the high priest right now in the heavenly realm, in the temple of the heavenly realm. So, we're in the flesh right now, and we strive to be righteous, but we will always fail in our flesh. So it's a spiritual battle, and we win in the spirit. And we give given that power of endless life in the spirit in the heavenly realm. And that's why we answer to the heavenly Jerusalem, New Jerusalem. Okay. So Hebrews chapter 8, it says, now of the things which we have spoken, this is the sum. We have such a high priest who is set on the right hand of the throne of the majesty in the heavens, a minister of the sanctuary and of the true tabernacle, which the Lord pitched and not man. For every high priest is ordained to offer gifts and sacrifices, wherefore it is of necessity that this man has something to offer. For if he were on earth, he should not be a priest, seeing that there are priests that offer gifts according to the law, who serve unto the example and shadow of heavenly things, as Moses was admonished of God when he was about to make the tabernacle. For see, he says, you shall make all things according to the pattern shown to you in the mount. So this is just showing that Yeshua is not able to be the priest on earth because he's from the tribe of Judah, but yet he is in the heavenly temple, the high priest in the heavenly temple, and that when Moses was on Mount Sinai, that he was shown the heavenly temple, and when he was supposed to make the tabernacle, it was after the pattern that was shown to him. So we have this promise of this heavenly tabernacle or temple in heaven, and that is where Yeshua is priest. So when he comes back on earth to rule for the 1,000 years, he will be king. So this is how he is order of Melchizedek. He is the king and the priest. He is the prophesied Messiah. Yehoshua or Yeshua is his name. So that ends this. And I just love that this is so prophetic and it's so powerful and it's just undeniable. So that's just a little bit of information to help you with the gospel and showing the truth and showing that Yeshua is actually our promised Messiah. So I hope that you enjoyed this video. And if you haven't already, if you would like to subscribe, thumbs up, share the video, click notifications. I'm going to try to keep doing more videos. And if you have any ideas or questions, let me know and I will try to answer them all. And I'll try to do a video if I feel like I need to, if the words in text doesn't offer as much as I would like to. So I hope you have a good day and thank you.